Pace World Media Group.
Like, Trey, what you been up to? I just tell him like, hey, put it in work. Yeah, put it in work. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, on today's episode of Real Talk, we're going to discuss
the underground world of comic book collecting. Comic book collecting is a worldwide phenomenon, a creative universe of artwork and collectibles that many people have no idea about. I recently got a chance to catch up with one of the members of this community. Let's take a look.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're going to be taking a trip across town to explore a comic book collection made by one of my guys. So, stay tuned. All right, I finally made it over here. See if this man going to answer the door.
This motherfucker the fucking welcome to my home. Poor little bitch. Yeah, do that shit like drinking.
Alright, so like comic books are like broken up in ages. Like you got your golden age, your silver age, your bronze, your modern, and they keep saying they need to make a title for this one, the modern shit, but we're still in the modern age. So the golden age is like when Batman first came out like in, I want to say like in the 1930s. That's golden age. And then when you jump into the silver age, it's like from shit, I'm terrible at this. I should look this up. I want to say the silver age.
Spider-Man and shit.
Yeah, Spider-Man probably is the silver age, and the bronze age is everything is in the like the early 70s into the 60s to late 70s, and everything after 75 is modern age, if I'm correct. So it's broken up in categories, and like the heavy collectors, they mostly gun for the older shit. Honestly. The golden age, that's like the untouchable shit. That's motherfuckers, you gotta be balling. Like the fucking Batman's and Superman, the first appearance of that shit goes for millions. Like I think the highest one right now is the first appearance of Superman. I want to say it was like 2 million or some shit. I could be wrong, but it's in the millions. That's out of my category. Even the silver age. Right now, what I'm like trying to dabble in is finding the hot shit, even the fucking bronze age.
So that's what I was about to say. That's your age. That's the age you like to deal with more, the bronze
honestly,
age.
right now, what I'm building with is honestly the modern age and the shit to come. Cause what's going on?
That's gonna be worth more. Like after 10 years from now.
Right. Cause like right now, everything's getting TV shows and fucking movies and shit, or what's hot to be. And sometimes, like, if you can't afford what's hot now, like Venom, that's my dude next to Spawn. Like, that's my favorite character. Now, I was trying to look for a first appearance of Venom, which is Amazing Spider-Man 300. Back in the day, when I was looking for it, it's probably like $250, $300. I couldn't get that shit, so I kept playing. Now that I can afford $250, $300, this nigga's in like thousands. So I'm like, dude, I can't get that shit. But like they got now is where it's like you get either the first run of his appearance, like he made his first appearance in Amazing Spider-Man 300, and then he's got a cameo appearance, which is Spider-Man 299, which was done by Todd McFarlane, which is the creator of Spawn. And I got the first two cameos of Venom, which is Amazing Spider-Man 298 and 299, but I can't afford 300. So you gotta get the next thing, and if you can't even get the cameos, is what they say is like get his first run, which is his own solo series. So like you could get like I think his first solo series is Venom Lethal something, I can't remember, but like that's his first solo series, and you could like look on like eBay or whatever you buying your comics from. That shit's slowly growing because like right now the average is maybe like $30 to $50. wait from a year from now or when that movie dropped, since the first appearance of Venom, Amazing Spider-Man 300 is like out of reach. Like at the comic book shop up the street from me, they had a CGC, which is means where you send your comic book off and you get it graded by professionals, and they put it in this big ass slab. It's like it looks like a thick ass casing around it, and they have the score of what it's rated. And if it's like a 9.6, 9.8, it's like the highest of the value of it. And
So that's appraisal. Like
yeah,
appraisal.
basic, yeah. And up the street, they had first appearance of Venom. I think it was a 9.6, and they were selling it for $2,300.
Damn.
So I got his cameo and his first run.
So yeah, tell me a little bit about your history and how did you get started collecting comic books and from the beginning?
Art was got me started into the comic books. So like, I used like my mom's always used to go to like dollar store to get like X, Y, and Z stuff, and they had like a little section of like comic books, and it was Spawn that drew me to it. But initially, it wasn't like reading like the comic books. It was just like the cover and the colors, and like building up my drawing skills with that. And once I got into like looking at the comic books for their art, then I started getting like more invested into the stories and whatnot, and just build up.
And that's when that. Well, how old was you around that time?
Young, at least probably 9, 10 or something like that.
So how many years is that? So you probably been collecting, you would say, damn near
20 plus years. Yeah, 20 plus years of comic books.
Damn.
20 plus years of comic books. Granted, though, like when I first started, when you young grabbing comic books, you're not into like, oh, let me keep this in the plastic and keep it in mint condition. You like manhandling the shit out of it because you just think it's like you don't think in investments in it. You just think it for what it is at that moment. Like,
Okay, now how did you choose between like if you're gonna do like DC, Marvel? Matter of fact, what is the difference between DC, Marvel, and CGC? Can you explain that to me?
well, with me, Marvel and DC, I got introduced with them is like through the cartoons and shit. Batman was always on, and then you had Spider-Man was Marvel and shit. But initially, like, funny to say, it was Image Comics because that's what Spawn was on. So before everybody got like hit to the indie comics, I was on Image, not knowing it was an indie comic and shit. But then like Marvel and DC, that's always on TV, so everybody's like picking sides. Like, oh, I'm Marvel, so it's like Spider-Man, X-Men. Oh, I'm DC, Batman, Superman, and all that shit. But Image ain't have no cartoons and none of that shit. To me, Image was just Spawn, and that's what I was like into that shit.
Okay, do you remember your first? Like, do you remember your first purchase or your first? What was the first one that you got?
I remember. I don't remember my first purchase, but I remember one time, like, my mom's, we was at a dollar store. It was Spawn issue number, like, I think it was like 10, 11. It was like low digits or some shit. And she brought it up to me and was like, can you say what that is? I wasn't big on reading. I was like, ugh. Like, I had it in my head, but like, being that young, you'd be like, that don't mean Spawn. I don't even know what the word Spawn mean. Like, so I'm like, I don't know, like, she's like, put it back. I was like, oh, man. So, but like, once, when you a kid, you got allowance and shit, and you just go out and buy your own. But like, honestly, I really don't remember what my very first comic is, though. I just knew Spawn was it. And then, like, I remember my first Spider-Man comic book, though.
I remember you used to draw Spawn in high school.
Yeah.
You used to always draw him.
Your ass was on, my ass was on some like, dude, you draw this, I need you to finish it. Finish the drawing, like, cause I'll start some shit and don't finish it. You like, bro, I need you to draw this and finish it. And then, ever since then, I was like, all right, I gotta start finishing my shit. Like, I still got that drawing. My mom's got it in the house. Like.
Okay, now I want to talk about. So, can you tell me about like at the beginning? You said you started down there 20 years ago. But like, where did you buy your first? Where did you first start shopping at? Like, where did you get started getting comics at in the first place?
Well, at first it was like new Media Play, Dollar Store, And then like I found out there was a comic book shop down the street from when I used to live on the west side and shit. And it was Comic Book World at the time. And when I went there, like they had everything. I was like new to everything and shit. I'm like looking at everything. And I was like in all like a little kid at a candy store. But like I stopped going there because it was on the west side and it was Cheviot. Cheviot was like majority European white folks and shit. I'm like this young black dude walking in there. And I just felt eyes on me. I just didn't feel comfortable. So I stopped going there and then found out like years later, there was another store like down the street from them called Rock and Rooster. It was like super small. Like,
what side of town, what neighborhood is this at?
I think it's Cheviot, like Westwood going into Chevy, like that little borderline
Right in
area.
between.
Yeah. Rock and Rooster was the first place that was consistently going to comic books buying all my shit. And what maybe at first I like comic books, but I didn't know like there's like a science behind collecting comic books. Like you gotta know like where story arcs, and you can't just grab a comic book and it could be in the middle of the story and you be reading shit and be like, what the fuck is going on? So I started going in there buying like comic book t-shirts and fucking variant comics, which is basically like comic books that have like different covers, and those covers would be like if they say for example it's like Venom, and they on a series 1 through 100 and issue like 10 come out, and if that store about like 50 of those issues of issue 4, they get a variant cover. So it's like 1 out of 50 issues they get this variant cover. It'd be like different from everything else, and that'd be more of the one that's like valuable and better, cooler. Yeah. So I was just buying like all the cool variants until like I was talking to one of the owners, and I was like, man, I'm really into Spawn. I'm trying to get back into it. He's like, well, Spawn's about to start a new arc called like, I think it was called like Endgame. And then ever since then, it was just domino effect, and I started doing my homework and started branching out to different shit, for real.
And so, did you start going to like, how about like any like events or you know how they be having them festivals and like conventions and stuff like that? Like, did you start getting into any of those?
I went to those, like the comic conventions and shit in Cincinnati. I think it was like the Comic Expo, but like they usually either ran when I had to work or some bullshit. But like I check in there.
Do you prefer to get them? Do you prefer to wait till the festival come or the convention come to get them, or you prefer to just go like regular to the shop?
Just regular go to the shop. Like to me personally, I feel like conventions are for like if you're looking for something specific that you have a hard time finding, like that like key issue, or you want to see that guest appearance. Like conventions are more like a gathering and finding key issues. It's not for like starting off.
It's more like network. Like after you already got your collection up.
I mean, if you're a newbie, don't get me wrong, if you're a newbie, go like soak it all in, the atmosphere, talk to people, cause like you're gonna get a whole diverse of people and just a lot of stuff to take in. Like if you're a newbie, I won't say don't go, definitely go, but don't go to start a comic book. You know what I'm saying? Like don't go to be like
networking and get your knowledge.
Yeah, go there just to soak all that shit in, like just soak it all in, but don't be like, oh, I'm gonna go to this convention and then I'm gonna find that issue or series I want to start. Like, nah, go to your local comic book store. Like, so I'm like so confined into like the selective comic book shops we have here, because what started it all off was basically like I was trying to step my Spawn game up. Like I stopped and then want to get back into like basically I want to step my comic book game to the next level, like step my shit up. So like I was like on a hunt for certain key issues, and then we was like, all right, she from Indiana, so like let's see what comic book shops out there. We went to Indianapolis and just kind of like mapped out all their comic book shops and just bounced to each one and see what they had. And it's crazy because like each one had like some little bit different.
Where you was in Indiana?
Yeah, Indy.
Just all around Indiana.
Yeah, like we got a hotel. Yeah, we got a hotel in downtown Indianapolis. and then like that Saturday, we just like put in GPS comic book shops and it like mapped it all out for us. It was just like A to B, just round in the circle, just hit every one. I think we like missed maybe one or two. The one for real, and it looked like somebody's house. We was like, we cool from that shit. Granted, that shit probably could have had everything we wanted, but we was like clocking for time. But yeah, like.
Did you get some nice catches? Or like what did you find?
So basically, we was mainly on a spawn hunt to look for key issues. And then we was hearing about this comic book series called Something's Killing Children. We was both interested in it, but like the local comic book shop around here, they was
called what?
Something's Killing the Children. Part.
Something is killing the children. What is that?
So basically, like when we was here in Cincy or whatever, they was saying about this hot comic called Something Killing the Children. They gave us like a brief like synopsis on the story, but they was saying it's like so hot, like the storyline only been out for like a year and a half, less than that maybe. They on like issue 16 because like every month an issue comes out, and this is like from my knowledge, this is like probably one of the fast and gross comic books, like 200.
You get a close up on this. Let me get a. This is $200.
That's just the first. That's the 16th issue. This issue 16. That's the most current one. This issue 1. Y'all see what they did. If y'all know the story, I'm gonna give y'all. If y'all don't, I'm gonna give you a brief like little story on it.
Nah, man, hell no, don't give them that.
No.
They gotta go see it.
I say that. But as you can see, this 16. Same chick, but y'all see what they're doing though. With the different covers, this is like cover A, and the one he just showed with the female on the cover, that's cover B. So like cover A, this is the one. This is the original cover. Sometimes like comic books, they do like cover A, cover B, and then you got your variants and all that bullshit or whatever. But like it start off cover A already going for like $1,200 and shit. And it's been out for like a year and a half and shit.
And you had to pay.
This.
So you got it for a steal?
Yeah. I got this one off of a steal. The one I just showed, I got this one for a steal, probably like $200. That's still a lot for a young ass storyline. You know what I'm saying? Because you got like comic books that's been out for years.
So you saying you got the whole collection or just this?
I got right now, they on issue 16. And I'm missing issues 2 and 5. And then I have the whole complete series. But like once you go to, I think from 8 all the way to 1, that's when you gotta start dropping like $100+ or so. And the reason for that, what he was telling us, Netflix got a deal with Boom Studios, which is the comic book company like the Marvels and the DCs, but it's called Boom Studios. They got a deal with Netflix where they got a contract where they're able to pick any storyline from Boom Studios and make it a show. And everybody got their concept that it's going to be Something's Killing Children because that's their hottest series on Boom Studios. So everything started going like that. But and on the other hand, it also, when Something Killing the Children first came out, it was getting like a low print run. Like not too many motherfuckers was hit by it. It was getting passed by word, like, look, like, read this shit fire, it's about this
Like
shit.
word of mouth.
Yeah, and then, like, motherfuckers started getting hip to it, and then when it got to, like, probably, like, issue 10 or 11, that's when they started hearing the Netflix shit, and motherfuckers started really shooting for it. So when we heard about that, we was like, man, we're gonna go to indie, just focus on the fucking spawns, and then we went to our first, on some real shit, our first comic shop downtown Indy, right? It was some like rinky dinky ass fucking comic shop in the heart of downtown. I'm telling her like, look, let's look for like, you think we should like look for Something Killing Children? She's like, you know what? Let's just kind of keep the spawn, and if we come across something coming across children, cause like she liked the concept of the story and I liked it, and I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. She's like, dude, literally the first shop we went to, they had issues, the current one, they had 16, 15, 14, 13, and 11, I think, wasn't it? they basically had quite a bit. When we got like at least 4 or 5 issues from them, and we was like, shit, we already in. Like, let's go. And then like we left Indie with at least probably like I collected more stuff that Killing the Children from Indie than Spawn. Like, and that was the main goal. Like, and then when I got back home, I was like, shit, we might as well continue this shit. Like, this comic book series so young, it's going like.
We'll be back right after these messages.
Yo, I sit back with this pack of sweets on my lap. I got this weed on my mind, I think it's time I relax. I'm about to roll up a dime, you know my blunts, they be fat. Can't have no stems or no seeds, it's only kush in my sack. I got that OG on me, I just came from the trap. And now I smell like a skunk that was under attack. You know that PU, that poo-poo, that stanky, that doo-doo, that certified, that homegrown, that shit that make you go cuckoo.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10, shit.
So it's the top 10. Can you go through these for us and show us what you got, man?
Alright, what I got here, it's not exactly the top 10 because I got a
Let me
shit
see.
ton.
Start with this one.
This one right here. Alright, so my broke ass couldn't get the first appearance of Spawn. I mean, not my best, not Spawn, Venom. So I got the cameo. This is the first solid cameo, arguably first appearance. People would like to say this is the first appearance. Todd McFarlane, the creator, or maybe not the creator, but the artist behind Venom, he believes this is the first appearance. I agree, because on the back, in the last page of this issue, you get a full page of Venom. And at the bottom, I think it says, I am Venom or some shit like that. But they don't consider this the first appearance. This is the first solid, full cameo. Bullshit. I agree. Bullshit. But whatever. So this is not my prized possession, but I am so glad I got this shit.
Okay, what we got next?
The Amazing Spider-Man 299. This one right here. Moon Knight. Right here. It's Moon Knight. Moon Knight. So, quick story behind Moon Knight. Everybody, comic book heads would like to say this is the Marvel version of Batman. He's basically, you know, he's got the gadgets of Batman, skills of Batman, but he's a schizophrenic. He's got multiple personalities and shit. I like Moon Knight. He hasn't got any solid recognition, but Disney Plus is giving him his own show, I think in 2022. Moon Knight, it's not his first appearance, but it's his first run. That means his first own ongoing series. So if you can't get the first appearance, I recommend you get his first ongoing series. Not Moon Knight, but any favorite character that you like or can't really afford their first appearance, first ongoing series. This one, not this one, but this one is Venom's first ongoing series. Once I said before, can't get the first full appearance, but this is the first ongoing series. Venom, Lethal Protector. It's got the like foil red background with the webs in the background. It's a badass cover. I don't know if this coming up in the camera or not, but Venom right here.
How much do you think that one is about worth?
Well, this one right here, right now you catch it on low, probably like maybe 30. If you hop on it like ASAP, like catch somebody slipping. Cause this motherfucker right now is going up by the minute. Like, I mean, like, if you wait 2, 3, 4 months from now, it's not gonna be $30-$40. Cause I seen it on Instagram. They was doing a bid on this shit, and someone dropped like $60 on this motherfucker. And if you find it in your comic book shop, you could probably catch it for like $15, $20, $30. But get it ASAP. Like a year from now, it ain't gonna be on those $30, $40, $50. And then I just brought this out for GP. This is Bride of Venom. This is Eddie Brock's wife that wore the Simian suit, and this is her first appearance as female She-Venom. If y'all seen the movie, the first Venom movie with Ed Hardy, she was in here. Tom Hardy. What's that? Ed Hardy? Yeah, my bad. Tom Hardy. She was in it. So this is a sleeper. I think the lowest I've seen this shit at the comic shop was $80. So this is a sleeper. It's coming up fast on the low key. And they're not easy to find either. In good condition. This one I just brought out because this is a badass cover. This Venom, Amazing Spider-Man. This is a badass cover. Like, if y'all comic book heads, y'all probably seen this shit before. Just raw as fuck. Just easy. Alright, so my boy Spawn. The creator, Todd McFarlane. This is the very first Spawn issue.
Damn.
He broke record. I think this was the first comic book series that ever sell over 1 million issues. So if you're a comic book head, you like Spawn, you probably have this. But if you're a comic book head, you see the value of this slowly going up because of all the hype behind it. So you gotta have this in your collection. And this one right here is Angel Spawn. With all the hype of Spawn going on, this is one of the key comics. This right here, I caught this on a bundle deal, but you know what I'm saying? Solo, you probably catch this for like $100. I didn't pay that. I got lucky. Good condition. Angel Spawn. Hey, check this shit out. Key issue, you're a Spawn fan. Look for it.
In the mind _ of Batman.